Climate change has been a serious issue where all nations are making collective efforts to combat climate change. But no matter how many policies are made, climate change will always be a problem as long as capitalism exists. Capitalism promotes the notion of economic growth through industrialization. This is why developed and industrialized countries are causing most of the pollution in the world. According to Center for Global Development, developed countries are responsible for 79% of historical carbon emission gases, which causes the global temperatures to increase. Today, countries that are causing most of the global warming by releasing high amounts of carbon emission gases are China, US, India, Russia, and Japan. The US makes up 4 to 5% of world's population and is the second largest polluter in the world that produces more waste than it can recycle.
Most importantly, the United States, as the biggest polluter, is not part of the system.
Speaking of waste, developed countries produce most of the waste in the world. That includes Canada, Finland, and Estonia. According to World Bank, high-income countries make up 16% of world's population and produce 34% of total world's waste. According to IMF, high-income countries like Denmark, New Zealand, and the US produce twice as much waste per capita as compared to other countries around the globe. Canada alone is the largest waste-producing country in the world, despite making up only 0.5% of total world's population. On top of that, it is said that Canada only recycles 9% of their total waste.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of a plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things.
But how is all this capitalism's fault? This is because high levels of economic activity requires high consumption, waste, and carbon emission gases that is fueling global warming. Lowering consumption for the sake of environment is considered blasphemy in capitalism. The United Nations proposed a treaty called the Kyoto Protocol, which forces countries to reduce their greenhouse gas emission that causes global warming. Interestingly, the US and Canada rejected. This is because they are driven by capitalism and would not want to lower their consumption.
When people talk about climate, I think jobs.
They see this as, the biggest economic opportunity since the Industrial Revolution.
They will export their toxic waste in third world and developing countries, and would blame them instead, just to hide their ugly face.
We're really contributing to a global problem, and we should be dealing with the garbage here at home.
It is said that waste of Canada mixes with the waste of US and is dumped into African and some Asian countries. This is one of the reasons why developing countries are more prone to climate change. They would display crocodile tears by giving developing nations some few amounts of money to combat climate change, and would hold international meetings just to shift the blame away from themselves.
We're launching an initiative to help developing countries strengthen their climate efforts while achieving their development goals. And that's going to mean money.
As a result, more than 400,000 people die annually in poor countries from illness and diseases due to dumping waste, while these capitalistic countries profit from it.